Hey everyone! Welcome back to Story Hive. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Let's jump into today's story. My wife keeps threatening me with divorce over everything, so I eventually agreed and left her. We had been together for 5 years and married for 4. We had known each other for years before that and have one child together, who is 4. I am the primary breadwinner in the house since, for the past year and a half, we have been having frequent arguments several times a month. To be clear, I do help out with our daughter. I clean, cook. The first time she mentioned divorce was during an argument that started when my sister called and asked if she could stay with us for a while due to relationship problems. I agreed, but my wife was unhappy about it. I pointed out that her friend had stayed with us a couple of months prior for 5 weeks without contributing anything around the house. My perspective was that her friend simply showed up one day without any discussion. My sister, on the other hand, is lovely and has a great relationship with our daughter. I thought my wife would understand this. My sister ended up staying with us for a week, during which she helped out around the house, cooked, cleaned, and looked after our daughter when needed. I thought we had both moved past that argument and forgave each other. However, our fights often revolve around small issues and are usually not started by me. I have suggested therapy and counseling, but she always said she didn't need it. Last night, she picked a fight claiming I was spending too much time at work and that she felt abandoned. She stated that I'm not a good father and ended her rant with, "I want a divorce." I stood up and told her that the only reason I work so much is because she can't stop spending our money on unnecessary items. She refused to get a job or go to school to help out. I provide for the family and am always present for important dates, functions, and doctor's appointments, literally anything our daughter needs. Despite this, she refused to get help through therapy or counseling. I reached a breaking point. I decided to have my lawyer prepare the divorce papers. I gathered our daughter's things and left to stay with my sister. It has been 2 days, and she keeps calling and texting, saying she's sorry, didn't mean it, wants to go to counseling, and misses me. I am conflicted. I love her, she is a good mother, but I can't continue like this. Update 1. Hello everyone. Unfortunately, this update is not as positive as I had hoped. I want to clarify some things that seem to have been overlooked. I would do everything again, including taking my daughter. I have encouraged my wife to find a job, get a hobby, meet new friends, and seek help. She kept insisting she was not the problem. My daughter is my priority, and I never fight with my wife in front of her. I grew up in a difficult household where my father's anger affected me. I never want my daughter to experience that. You can't force someone to get help. They need to want it genuinely. If you force someone, they will only go through the motions. I am not blameless, but I can't raise my daughter with her thinking this is acceptable behavior or how relationships should be. After my initial post, I had a lot of reflection. I decided I needed to make it clear how serious I was. We sat down and I told her that I couldn't continue with the constant fighting and threats of divorce. She agreed to stop making those threats. We decided to attend couples therapy, which was eye-opening. We discussed things openly, and professional guidance helped us understand each other better. After a few sessions, I thought we were improving. She started applying herself more, she found a job, made friends, and picked up a hobby. However, an argument erupted when she overlooked plans we had for our daughter in favor of plans with her new co-workers. At the end of the argument, she muttered, "I knew marrying you was a mistake." I didn't recognize the woman standing before me. She seemed different. I asked her to repeat herself. I walked away and took our daughter to the planned event alone. I filed for legal separation, with terms including that we remain legally married but are separated in terms of finances. We will continue with therapy sessions, both individually and as a couple. I moved in with my sister, and we have shared custody of our daughter. One morning, when I dropped off our daughter, I noticed an unfamiliar car in the driveway. A shirtless man answered the door and asked who I was. I asked for my wife, and she appeared in a robe, her face transitioning through shock and sadness. In 3 months, when the legal separation is finalized, I will be filing for a decree of dissolution of marriage. My daughter is safe and doesn't fully understand the situation other than that her parents are unhappy. She is my priority. I guess I did the one thing I promised myself I would never do. I became like my parents. I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like, but I hope to show my daughter how much I love her and raise her as best as I can. Update 2. It's been a tough couple of weeks since I last updated. I want to share where things stand now. After the argument where my wife said she should have divorced me years ago, I made the decision to file for legal separation. We agreed on the terms, which include staying legally married but separated financially and personally. We are both committed to continuing therapy both individually and as a couple. I moved in with my sister, and we have shared custody of our daughter, with her spending equal time with both of us. Things took an unexpected turn when I went to drop off our daughter at my wife's house one morning. I saw an unfamiliar car in the driveway, and when I rang the doorbell, a shirtless guy answered. My wife appeared soon after, looking shocked and distressed. It was a rough moment, but it reinforced my decision to proceed with the separation. Now, I'm preparing to file for divorce officially. My daughter is safe and doesn't fully grasp what's happening, but she knows that her parents are struggling. My focus remains on her well-being, and I'm doing everything I can to ensure she feels loved and supported through all this. I'm still grappling with the reality of how things have turned out, and while I hoped for a different outcome, I'm committed to moving forward in a way that's best for my daughter and me. Update 3. Things have been pretty overwhelming lately. After the argument where my wife said she should have divorced me years ago, I went ahead and filed for legal separation. We've agreed on how to handle things for now. We are still legally married but living apart. We are both attending therapy, both together and separately, to try and work through our issues. I moved in with my sister, and we're sharing custody of our daughter. One morning, when I was dropping off our daughter at my wife's place, I noticed a strange car in the driveway. When I rang the doorbell, a shirtless guy answered. My wife came out looking startled and upset. That was a tough moment and made me feel even more certain that separation was the right step. I'm now preparing to file for divorce. It's hard seeing how this all affects our daughter, though she doesn't fully understand what's happening. She knows things aren't great between her parents, but I'm doing my best to keep her feeling secure and loved. I'm still processing everything and trying to stay focused on giving her the best possible environment. It's a difficult situation, but I'm determined to make it work for her sake. Thanks for tuning in to today's Reddit story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more amazing stories. See you next time.